Oh no, bad news, Lexus GX550 owners. The side mirrors are melting in the sun. Call the police. It's time to press charges. Today we're going to talk about the new allegations that the Lexus GX550 is so cheaply built that its mirrors and black shiny piano black plastics are melting in the sun. So we have two users, and they're both saying their mirrors are melted. So on their GX550s. So you can see here we got some damage here. And we're kind of seeing the piano black plastic on the side mirrors is just scorched and distorted and melted, and it's not looking too good at all. And the user says they park in the same spot. They're not doing anything different. They've parked here before and they haven't had any problem with other cars. So what is going on? Look right here, even the black plastics along the side of the car. You see this rippling here where the mouse is? That's melting too. Call the police. The B-pillar's melted too. Oh no. Look at this. Look at all this peeling and bubbling. What's going on? Let's cut the crap. There's a few things going on here, and they're all kind of going to add up here, and we're going to kind of get a clue of what's really happening. The first clue is the owner installed a PPF, or paint protection film, on his rolling depreciating liability debtmobile. And that PPF is essentially a clear film that goes around or on the car's paint body panels, and it's supposed to protect it from scratches, blah, blah, blah. Can't get it scratched. Can't get your off-road vehicle scratched. But the PPF is only part of the problem, because look at here. Yes, this is a common problem. Melted mirrors. What do you see here? These are not Lexus GX550s. These are just random cars, and you're going to see a bunch of melted mirrors. And the common denominator here is a few things. They're all going to be black mirrors, and they're all going to be side mirrors, generally speaking. Doesn't matter what make or model you have. If you got a black or dark colored side mirror, it's going to be susceptible to melting and looking like these pictures here. All modern windows in residential and even commercial buildings for now decades have had what's known as low E glass. I believe it's low emittance glass, and all that means is there's a reflective coating that's kind of greenish on the outside layer of the glass. The sun rays hit the glass here following this red line and bounce back off. That keeps the sun from emitting in through to the inside of the house, therefore keeping the inside cooler in the summer. As you can see here, the sun is going to bounce back off the window and hit you know what. Yep, it's going to hit your shiny new piano black Lexus GX550 mirrors, and it's going to melt them. But why the mirrors? Why not everything else? And why only this piano black trimming and stuff? Those of you who weld out there probably know that when you take a high source of heat and apply it to the edge of a piece of metal, it will blow a hole through. The edge, or the smallest part of the metal surface, is always going to be where you blow holes through the metal. This is also going to be the case for welding thin gauge sheet metal. The thinner the metal, the more chances you get to blow holes through the metal. One of the solutions to this problem is to get what's known as a welder spoon. That's this copper piece here where the mouse is, and you put it under the thin sheet metal, which is this silver colored piece of metal here. So by welding on the sheet metal, the heat has an area to conduct to. So the heat conducts away from the thin metal and goes to the copper here, and you don't blow a hole through the thin sheet metal. As we can see here on the Lexus GX550 or any car with side mirrors, this piece of black plastic on the mirrors is hanging out here all along. It's on the edge here, and there's nowhere for heat to conduct to. There's nowhere for the heat to go. So if this mirror gets heated up, it's going to stay here. The heat is going to be concentrated in the side mirrors, and it's just going to build up just like a welder blowing a hole through sheet metal. There's no place for anything to conduct to, which is why you're typically going to see, again, on no matter what car, you're going to see the side mirrors being melted because there's no place for the heat to escape to, and generally it's going to happen on a black piece of shiny plastic or a dark colored painted side mirror. Here, for instance, we see the same type of melting action going on a 2013 Ford F-150. On this GX550 so far, we've got a few things to blame. We've got the coating, the silly paint protection coating. We got the fact that it's a mirror and it can't dissipate or conduct heat away from this hot spot here. But there's also the plastic itself to blame, and this piano black plastic is the cheapest there is. Now, we live in the Mojave Desert and we have a Lexus GX460, so we know a thing or two about things baking in the sun. We've had this GX460 since it's been brand new. We have never garaged it. It gets to be 120 degrees for weeks on end out here in the desert. And this GX460 has never had anything melted on it. And the mirrors are just fine. Remember, we parked this thing outside. Now, obviously, the mirrors are white. They're not black. And so, of course, that's going to have an effect. But the grade of plastic is better on these mirrors overall. And we haven't seen any degradation of the black plastics on this vehicle as well, because they're not that shiny type of plastic that's on the GX550. I do believe the grade on the older Lexuses and Toyotas are better overall, and that the grade of plastic on the Lexus GX550 is lesser or inferior compared to these older GX460. So the grade of plastic is a culprit here. So you've got three things going on. You've got new, cheaper piano black plastics for the older plastics. You've got the fact that it's black paint. And you've also got the fact that one of the users may have put on some sort of paint protection film. I'll reiterate again that this GX460 has lived its entire life. We're up to like 25,000 miles out here in the desert, not garaged every single day since brand new, baking under the sun. Nothing is peeling, nothing is warped, and yes, we park this thing right next to our gigantic low-E windows reflecting sunlight on this thing all the time. We park it in front of a gigantic 16-foot low-E window reflecting sunlight back at this thing all the time, and nothing is melted. So there's got to be a difference in quality between the 460 plastics and these new 550 plastics. There's just no way around the fact that this thing hasn't been melted, because again, we've put this thing through some serious desert abuse and we haven't had any issues yet. Now, we've been out here in the desert for 13 years, and black is fine in the desert, matte black. What's not fine is glossy black in the desert. I have a black garden hose that's out it's been sitting in the sun forever. It is matte black and it's been there for probably 10 years and it's fine. But anything glossy black out in the sun in the desert, I don't know why, but it doesn't last. So if we look at the other damage on the GX550 here, this is not the side mirrors, but you got the same thing going on. There's probably some sort of low-E window reflecting on these cheap plastics along with the stupid coating that's making this thing do squirrely stuff. Now, the coating itself is a plastic film, so would you think of yourself on a hot day, on a 100-degree day. Now, pull out some saran wrap and wrap yourself in plastic, you probably perish. Well, that's what happened here too. There's not any one element to blame here. It's literally 3, maybe 4 things aligning in perfect order to create this debauchery. But it is completely unfair to suggest that this is simply a Lexus only, issue or a Toyota issue, because as we can see here, we got black plastic and side mirrors melting on all sorts of makes and models in all different parts of the country. It's a common thing. Unfortunately, this GX550 owner did a few things to exacerbate the issue. Don't get anything that's black or dark in the desert. Obviously, that's going to absorb heat. Don't put saran wrap around it. It can't dissipate heat. Realize that side mirrors are notorious hot spots, and there's not much that can be done about it other than changing the color of the mirror. And realize that some vehicles, such as this Lexus GX550, have lowered their quality. This piano black is cheaper. This is not on the Lexus LX600. This is not on the Land Cruiser 300 GR Sport in the world market. This cheapness is exclusive to the new GX550. It didn't happen on the GX460, but it has happened on Lexuses before. This is from a 2015 Lexus RC, dark colored side mirrors, low E windows, and who knows if they ceramic coated it or not. But you got the same issue. And it's important to note that on the Land Cruiser 300 GR Sport, there's no anecdotes of melted side mirrors. All the melted side mirrors seem to be happening on the, quote, new generation of Toyota and Lexus vehicles. This is a Land Cruiser 300 GR Sport in the world market, baking in the sun in Dubai. And there's no anecdotes online of these Land Cruiser 300s having their side mirrors melted, even though they're also black. One can then only presume and deduce that Toyota used better quality materials on their side mirrors on their true flagship vehicles, such as this Land Cruiser 300. We can presume they did the same thing with the Lexus LX600 and 700 as well. But as for now, all the evidence suggests that melting side mirrors are a new Toyota issue. They're using some inferior nonsense in pretty much all of their vehicles except their true flagships, the Land Cruiser 300, the high-level Lexuses, etc. And everybody else may have melting mirrors. This may seem strange to some, but the manufacturer saves money by not painting the side mirror blue. So it's cost cuttings all around. That's why you have black mirrors all on all these cars, and that's why they're melting everywhere. It costs Toyota a lot more to make these two side mirrors blue versus this black. It's not for styling. It costs them more to make these B pillars and side pillars and all this black plastic stuff to be the same baby blue body color that you see here. So it's cost savings through and through, and on something like the Lexus GX550, you see the same thing happening. They didn't paint these side mirrors, these two side mirrors, black to be stylish. They did it to be cheap. These mirrors should be the champagne brown color, and the same way that our Lexus GX460 has white mirrors. The brown should be going all up the back here. It has nothing to do with styling and all to do with saving a buck. And so what's that mean to you, the consumer? Well, you are looking at it right here.